GM everyone, welcome back, welcome back. It's been so long since I've been live by myself. It's been such a joyful couple of weeks, obviously past month probably since I've been live by myself. A couple of weeks ago I was live with Craig, but lots of alpha to catch up on. Probably a good time to actually check back in with everyone, obviously because the market has been quite probably consolidating, let's call it, at the moment. So it's definitely cool to see a bit of consolidation because we've run up so much. If we zoom out, which we'll look at the charts very soon, guys, but we've been on an insane pump since the start of the year, if not even from October last year. So it's definitely time for us to cool off for a period of time because there's just so much time that we do still have for this bull market. And I did put out a really cool post recently about when I think I predict the bull market to end, and maybe we'll look at that later on in the show as well. GM to everyone here, obviously let me know if you're here. GM to Kyle, GM to Sexy, thanks for tuning in, guys. GM to Luke, thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate it. So yeah, please drop me a like if you are here. Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Please drop me a follow if you're watching on Twitter/X. I do appreciate it, and it helps me grow as a content creator. I do like to try and do at least one live stream a week, whether that's by myself or whether that's with Craig. Hopefully I can jump on with Craig again next week. It is a bit difficult, obviously, with the different time zones because I know Australia is currently sleeping, whereas over here, I'm in the UK at the moment. It's obviously mid-afternoon or pretty late in the afternoon now, I suppose, UK time. So GM everyone, GM Klitos, thanks for being here, bro. Do appreciate it. GM to Josh as well. Quick plug, guys. Obviously, I run my alpha group. There's over 200 members in there now. We educate every day. We trade every day. We talk every day about how we are succeeding in the crypto space. And obviously, we have a range of alpha in there as well. Do keep an eye out because I will be dropping a birthday sale. Yes, it's my birthday next week. So do keep an eye out. It'll be a pretty juicy deal to get into my alpha group if you do want to maybe get a bit more of greenie, but also get more access to other people in the space who are solid traders. We trade meme coins. We trade altcoins. We trade airdrops. We trade NFTs, we trade so much, guys. So definitely do check it out. Some of the people who are here right now are obviously part of that alpha group. So do reach out to them. GM Poverty, GM Countsy. But yeah, guys, just pretty much, guys, if you are interested in joining my alpha group, keep an eye out. I will be releasing a birthday sale very soon. It will be very juicy. All right, guys, there's so much to catch up on in the market. Always please let me know if you have any questions or any memes or any topics you want me to discuss. Obviously today, as you can see in the title, we're going to discuss meme coins because it's been such a hot meta recently. Obviously, we think that pre-sale meta sort of killed it at the moment. So I definitely think it's time to maybe cool off in the meme coin space. And I've taken a little break over the past few days, which I think is very healthy for a lot of people. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why I have also taken a break from the meme coin space in terms of the bad stuff that I've seen on the timeline and the negative sort of memes that I've seen recently. We'll talk about base, whether that's worth it, whether I should be fading it, whether you should be fading it, or whether there's opportunities there. We'll obviously talk about Ordinals and Runes because that's a super big narrative that's been popping off recently. So that's one that I'd like to check out further as well. And then obviously, guys, we'll do a chart deep dive into TA around what my altcoins I'm looking at. And a macro perspective too, because right now we're in a bit of a bleeding stage. Bitcoin and stuff has bounced, which is fantastic. And we will see, hopefully, maybe a little bit of a bounce with strength, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. But we will be checking out NFT volume, all of the things that we like to do, guys, checking out those charts. And obviously, if you have any alpha, please let me know in the chat. I do appreciate it. Jasim, thanks for being here, legend. I do appreciate your work all the time. All right, guys, let me just pull up my first chart. So to begin with, I want to take a look at total. Okay, this is always one that I like to look at first because it just shows me sort of what's happening in the market at the moment, right? So if we do take a look at total here, guys, this is on the 4 hour. So we are still in a downtrend. So a downtrend is simply lower highs and lower lows. So you can see here, guys, you got lower high, lower high, lower high, okay? Now, obviously, there's a few different ways that I like to chart this as well. So if you do look here on the 4 hour, you could technically say that this is a bull flag because the trend has gone up, okay? We're now consolidating here, bouncing in between support and resistance. And then ideally what you're looking for is an increase in volume. If I did have that on my chart, which I can bring up right now. Yep. So if you can see down the bottom, guys, oops, there we go. So if I do see an increase in volume, okay, down the bottom, like down here, and I see the direction at which I think this breaks out. So obviously this is a bull flag because we have come up and it's a flag like this, okay? Usually bull flags have a probability of moving to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at there. I would be looking for this to come out, confirm confirm that it's going to break out and then move up higher in the coming sort of weeks, probably. But alternatively, we might get a rejection here, guys. We might come back down again and form another low, and then maybe that's even a good time to maybe look for some longs. If you're a bit more of a skilled trader, that could be a good time to maybe try and long the market back up to either this resistance here, or if we can break that and then move back into the bull run in the coming weeks. But that's what I'm looking at for total. That's on the 4 hour, so this might actually play out by Monday, guys. So it'll be really cool to see that. But that's what I'm looking at the 4 hour. We have seen a shift at the moment in structure. So this is, again, what I like to look for, guys. This is how I trade meme coins. This is how I trade altcoins. This is how we trade leverage in the group, okay? And shout out to Sexy, shout out to Aussie for those two guys who share a lot of leverage trades in my group, and they do such a good job, okay? And that's Forex in crypto, so definitely check them out. But essentially what we're looking at here is, obviously, I've seen a change in structure. So perhaps this might be the break that we're looking for if volume is supporting it down the bottom, guys. And obviously it does break above that that resistance zone. If it can't, then obviously I would expect it to come. I would then be looking to see if it does potentially make a lower low, or if it shows me strength again, it's probably going to break here, and then maybe it's going to test the upside after that. So definitely keep an eye out, because total crypto market cap allows you to maybe plan some of the longs that you like to on your top altcoins, or on Bitcoin if you're a Bitcoin trader, or Ethereum or Solana, however you like to trade. We trade everything, so that's what I'm looking at on the 4 hour. Guys, if you are in the chat, please let me know. I will just be going between the screens, so if there's a delay in the chat, I will come back to check that out shortly. But if we zoom out a little bit, guys, I always like to take a very macro perspective on the market. This even looks better from my perspective on a bull flag. So this is what I like to see. If I'm trading meme coins, it's the same setup, okay? You see that big strength, okay? And this is what I was talking about at the top of the show, guys. We've had so much pumpiness literally from February, if not even earlier, if we go on the weekly very soon. But if you see this, guys, it's essentially a big flagpole, okay? A bullish flag like this, where you consolidate for a period of time and you sort of just go down, which is healthy for the market, okay? And then I'll be looking for it to break back up in the coming sort of week, I reckon. And we could potentially even break it in the coming days. But again, we could get rejected. We could make a lower low again, and then I'll be looking for that long across the market, okay? So this is total market cap, which is always a good one to keep an eye on, okay? Now, this orange line over here, if you did see my tweet last week about my prediction around the bull market, I did say that I think maybe in about a year's time, okay, so from about April to June, I think we top out, just because we've broken out so early. The one exception is this super cycle that we've spoken about, okay? If there is a super cycle, then perhaps liquidity, perhaps these hedge funds, perhaps these institutions really take us into really high uncharted territories in terms of total crypto cap, in terms of Bitcoin going to 250 plus thousand. Solana could go to 1,500 to 1,000. ETH could go to like 15 to 20,000 if we really see adoption. And we're talking ETF being approved for maybe definitely Ethereum in the next year. Maybe the speculation of some altcoins I might be seeing in ETF. If that all really aligns, okay, and there's a risk-on environment, macro, I'm talking worldwide, so rates have come down, inflation's no longer an issue, okay, then risk-on really could see this market go really high. We've seen the stock market recently go really high, guys, hit an all-time high. So the supporting environment, if it really matters in terms of how long this cycle could last, okay? But right now, my hedge is on probably an earlier end to this cycle, so definitely keep an eye on the charts. Definitely, if you have some take profit zones, definitely start to think about that later this year, and we'll be talking about that all the time on my streams, but also everywhere else. I'll just come back to the chat, guys, just to see. Sexy, I'm manifesting about. Dude, this guy is elite. He's an elite trader. So he copped, again, he's already up in his money. So definitely check him out in my group if you're keen. TokenFi, bro, legit. Shared that a couple of days ago, guys. So yeah, and we'll talk about those narratives very soon. So that's the RWAs. We'll talk about AI. We'll talk about gaming, okay? Because these altcoins are essentially what will take us into the sort of 10 to 20x zone, okay? Like Solana for me is probably around a 3 to 5x from here, okay? I would love to see it go more, but I just don't see that happening in terms of the amount of liquidity that's going to enter the market. The amount of market cap that it has to attain to get higher than a 5x is quite extreme as well. But again, you never know what can happen. We've seen Solana absolutely dominate in so many assets. Okay, it's DeFi, it's TVL, so many different things. So that's what I'm looking at there. GM to you, Alan. GM to you, Easy E. Thanks for tuning in, mate. And Davey, thanks for being here too. Spawny, I do appreciate you, mate, all the time. Guys, yep, let's go back to the chart. So again, a bull flag here. I would expect this to break out either at the moment, okay? We have seen, not a lot of increase in volume, so I would love to see a big green spike up here, sort of like this one over here. If not, then obviously we might just consolidate a little bit further here, maybe even sideways for a little bit, and then break up in the coming days. If we take a larger look at the market, guys, let's look at the weekly. So you would have seen, I'll have to try and pull up that tweet that I put out recently. I'll just do that on the side while I do this as well. But if we have a look here, guys, again, on the weekly, you can see that it doesn't look goodness gracious me, get off that. Okay, there we go. All right, so on the weekly, you can't see that there's a bull flag there. That's why it's always important to check out the charts all the way from probably around an hour is the lowest that I like to go, unless you're really scalp trading. But as you saw before, I saw that structure change on the 4 hour. So we saw a higher low. So that's bullish structure, maybe showing me on the 4 hour that we could break out on the 1 day chart. So this is what you got to look at. That's how you get into my mind. That's how you trade altcoins. That's how I trade meme coins. Okay, obviously meme coins are on the 1 minute to 5 minute to 10 minute chart. Okay, sometimes the 1 second chart, which is super degenerate, but I wouldn't advise that. But that's how I like to trade. Okay, everyone always says TA doesn't work. They say that TA is a waste of time, but guys, it's mathematics. It works based on how people trade in terms of emotion, psychology. It also shows me bullish and bearish structure all of the time. So people that tell you TA doesn't work, obviously are missing out on so much alpha because they actually don't use it and adopt it when they trade crypto. So definitely take a look at that. So as you can see here, that short time sort of flip in momentum, not really looking at it. But what you can see here, guys, on the screen is obviously we've seen this wick. Oopsies, other way. There we go. You've seen this wick. Okay, that shows me that there's a lot of buyer's strength across the market because, again, this is crypto cap. So people are buying altcoins, people are buying Bitcoin, etc. So that's showing me that's a lot of strength. But this is what I was talking about in terms of just the insane returns in terms of how many weeks on weeks on weeks that we actually haven't seen a red week. So if we take off the short-term support and resistance zone. This is, look at this. So this was, where's my thing? So we got 1 green week, 2 green weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6 green weeks, guys. So that's a long time for us to be pumping, okay? Any healthy market needs to have a retracement. We saw a little bit of a blow off top. We saw Bitcoin get to an all-time high, okay? And obviously we've come back down. And again, dips are for buying in a bull market. I can't stress this enough, and I'll say it every time we dip in the bull market. It's always good to maybe DCA if you have some money on the side. So keeping a bag of USDC, keeping some fiat is always a good option in a bull market because there's so many potentials every single day. But if you do look here, I would like us to maybe chill out for a bit longer just to show me a little bit of strength around consolidation to then show me that we can break up. But obviously, like we saw on the 4 hour just before, we could break up very soon. But again, it's been up literally from about this point, the start of October, middle of October, start of October to middle of October, and we've been straight up. But this is what I'm looking at here. See this consolidation? That's what I like to look. That's when you should be really doing some research into some airdrops or some low cap gems that you think could pop off. Often when we see a period of time like this, guys, that's a great time to trade NFTs because the underlying tokens aren't also pumping, okay? So again, you got to go with the flow, okay? Beanie put out a really cool tweet earlier today saying his strategies for crypto rich, and I couldn't agree more, okay? For people like him and me who have been in this space for such a long time, okay, you learn sort of how to narrate and how to play these markets. And so for me, I like to shift because if you don't shift, you're stuck in one lane and you miss out on so much opportunities. If you're trading only one blockchain, you're fading so many opportunities. If you're trading only one market, you're missing out on so many extra gains, whether it's passive or whether it's active. So definitely do your due diligence. Spend some time with people. If you're someone that's new to crypto, check out my group, check out and reach out, send me a DM, send people that you follow a DM because often, and you hope that they will reach out and give you a bit of education around the space because it's so important that you do learn if you are newer to crypto. If you're not, you already know what I'm talking about, okay? So that's total crypto market cap, guys. As you can see here, we actually haven't made an all-time high yet. We came close, but not quite. So obviously Bitcoin has, whereas other ones haven't. I don't know if I'll be able to find this tweet. I'll just do a quick scroll, guys, really quickly. Let me just check the chat. Yeah, no, everyone's all good in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you are new here, please like the video here on X and please like the video on YouTube. It does support me as a content creator. I do appreciate it. I just want to find this tweet that I put out the other day. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right. I'm scrolling through all the small chat. We'll talk about that very soon. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. All right, a little bit lower. Here we go. This is the one that I want. Okay. All right, now let's pull this up. Let me just share this now. All right. Now I do apologize that my screen is so high because I've got my mics on my shirt. So there we go. That might be a bit nice. Yeah, I've got my two mics. Yeah, dude, I missed my mic back in Australia. If you did know, I am traveling the UK this year, so I do miss my big pod mic. But it is what it is. These road ones are super duper good. All right, so let's pull up this tweet that I showed you on my timeline the other day. So if you are new here, guys, show me a follow. Click follow because I give lots of analysis every single day in crypto. And I am experienced. I've been doing this for 8 years, so I do like educating the space. But I dropped this a couple of days ago. So I really wanted to take an analytical perspective on when I think the market could potentially top out. A lot of people think it's going to top out sort of October next year, so 2025. The reason for this is that in the last couple of bull cycles, we saw an insane sort of closeness in the total top from so the peak of the cycle from the halving. It was very close, and I'll show you this in my detailed analysis below. But this is what I was looking at, guys. So what you can see here is the amount of accumulation that we saw across the last couple of cycles, and obviously the breakouts after the halving. So usually this orange line, as you can see here, you see that slow climb up or that slow climb up after the halving. So we are starting to see this is crazy because we haven't done this before. We've broken out pre-halving, but let's dive deeper into my analysis on why I have that sort of theory that we might top out a little bit earlier than October next year. So you see here that our bear markets across the past couple of years are very different. Okay, now obviously we've only got 3 iterations of this, so it is hard to really speculate around and form a thesis around when you think the bull market will end or when you think the bear market will end. But ultimately, what I'm seeing here is a huge difference. Okay, in terms of the breakout. So obviously this breakout that we saw in 2023 was a lot shorter compared to previous cycles. And there's obviously reasons for this. We had the ETFs, we had hedge funds buying it, we had institutions buying it, retail started to adopt this, and Bitcoin became this sort of acceptance that we wanted to see. So my thoughts, obviously, if you want to check this out, you can see the tweet up the top. When did I post it? It'll show me down the bottom. I posted it, 3 days ago, guys, so you can check that out. But essentially what I say is that I think unless there's a super cycle, I just don't see it ending in late 2025. Okay, I think that's very long. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time that I just don't know if we see that. Okay, so essentially what I do like to do, I break it down. I give my price predictions as well. So my minimum price targets. Okay, so my more bearish takes, which is always good to take because a lot of people on the timeline just give you their really bull takes. Okay, and they really give you that sort of false amount that you think you will be able to make in crypto. But here I like to spit some facts. But as you can see here, we still have a lot of upside. So these is obviously over a 3x for Sol, around a 3 to 4x for ETH, and obviously around the 2 to 3x for BTC. I am a bit more of a bull in terms of where I see these tokens going. But again, I still think that we do maybe top out in the second quarter of 2025. But again, check that out. I think it was really insightful, and it's a really good take that I like to have on the market. All right, guys, let me check. Lukey, thanks for tuning in, mate. Do appreciate you, mate. I will reply to your DM very, very soon. Shout out to everyone who's here watching us, guys. I do appreciate it. We got 250 people in the house, which is super dope. All right, back to the charts. Okay, let's have a look. So obviously I like to look at totals. So again, what I like to do also is look at total 3, which is essentially your altcoin market. So this excludes market cap of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you look here, guys, it's been on an insane tear as well. So again, a cool off is necessary. It helps us sustain bull price action for a long period of time. Okay, so as you can see here, it's no wonder that it is time to maybe cool off for a little bit, whether that's sideways consolidation or whether that is going down like we saw before in the 4 hour in a nice bull flag, but maybe on a day sort of time frame would show me better consolidation for then the next leg up. And that's what you want to see in this bull market. But as you can see here, guys, we're seeing quite a lot of strength in this altcoin market as well. And I think for me, obviously, as someone who's been in this space a long time, you just know that essentially at the end of the day, altcoins are probably going to make you a lot more money in the long run because of just the smaller market cap. So essentially, it has a faster pace to go up a 5 to 10x compared to something like Bitcoin. However, my thesis has really changed around Bitcoin recently because of what I actually think of it could be in the next 20 to 50 years, okay? I listened to a really cool podcast around the energy side of it and how politicians are still claiming that Bitcoin's bad for the environment, but it's so much more than that, okay? And so many people in Web 2 still think that cryptocurrency is for scams. So again, they have so much to learn about Bitcoin, and I do see it definitely going to maybe 500,000 to $1 million in our future. Okay. In the next 20 years, maybe we'll see, but I do see it overtaking gold's market cap, which is around, I think around a 12x from current price action. So I do think that at least a 12x from here would put Bitcoin, up towards $600,000-$700,000 in the coming years. I think that is definitely on the tables. So that's why maybe treating Bitcoin like a savings account is the best for this generation, guys. But again, that's a whole nother narrative that we can discuss another time. But yeah, as you can see here, guys, altcoins showing a lot of strength, okay? Bitcoin dominance. Now, again, this one has been really interesting for me because we drew this chart, like I'm going to say months ago, right? And so we saw this breakout. You want to be staying in BTC, but as soon as this broke to the side and showed me that there wasn't a lot of strength to take this higher. And as you can see, guys, down the bottom, we have red candles. That shows me that the market doesn't want Bitcoin dominance to go up. So that shows me I want to be probably more risk on with my altcoins. So that's how I like to, again, analyze the market using chart analysis, but also narratives and sentiment, okay? So if I saw a big green candle here, I want to be in Bitcoin, okay? But if I see it consolidate like this, then that shows me maybe it is better for me to be trading some of these altcoins, some of these meme coins, because there's more liquidity in them. However, if we do see a breakup, which I do think could happen post-halvening, guys, because that Bitcoin narrative is just so strong this cycle. So I do think we could break up maybe towards this sort of region up here, test some support and resistance zone from previous cycles. Once we've done that, I think that's a great time, if you are someone that is a skilled trader, to maybe swap your bags out of Bitcoin and then start to trade some of these other altcoins, okay? But that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin dominance. All right, let's go to actual Bitcoin, guys. Again, I'm just going to take a little sip of water. Thanks for tuning in. If you are new here, please obviously like, please subscribe, please give me a follow if you are here on X as well. I do appreciate it. And I will be running the stream for probably, over an hour, guys. So definitely let me know in the chat if you have any questions that you'd like me to discuss. More than happy to discuss any tokens or any altcoins, any meme coins that you'd like me to. More than happy to do that. And thanks, Kledos. Yeah, please like the live stream. All right, guys. So as you can see here, we're seeing that there's resistance. Okay, there's resistance at the all-time high of 2021. So that's no surprise. It's a huge level. That's why a lot of people would have been shorting at that period of time. We've seen a lot of liquidations across both bulls and bears. So I definitely think it's a time to think about just being on the sidelines, okay? Because sometimes it's healthy to take a step back, okay? I really did that today. I started to see that when once those meme coins that came out, which I'm not going to speak about, but you guys all know the topics of the meme coins. As soon as that shifted, that showed me, okay, I need to take a break. I need to reset. And that's healthy, guys, because we're here for years, all right? I've been here for years, okay? And I was grinding all through 2023, if not 2022 as well, to get to where we are right now. So staying patient, zooming out, and being when the liquidity, when the sentiment's strong, when there's a lot of hype, that's when you want to be trading. Not now when there's not much of those three factors, okay? And obviously price action is supporting that at the moment. But as you can see here, guys, lots of strength. I do think maybe consolidation until the halvening in about a month's time now is pretty warranted, okay? And then obviously we might see that standard sort of run. So obviously we would have seen the halvening around this period last time. You would see this run up here like that, and that's when you start to see Bitcoin go parabolic. And again, I think based on fib levels that I've drawn previously, you definitely could see this run up quite high. So if we do, let's do it. Let's speculate, okay? So the way you can draw a fib is from the top of last cycle literally to the bottom of this cycle. So it was about 15.7. So let's have a look. So obviously we're testing that one fib from the past cycle now. So if you do take a look, the 1.618 is at 101,000. So I think that is my short-term target for Bitcoin if we see it go parabolic. The reasoning for this is obviously that psychological level. Now for me, someone who's been in this space for a long time, that's my first scaling out profit level, okay, for Bitcoin specifically. That's when I think, okay, I've got a big bag. I want to take some off the tables because you never know what can happen in crypto. You never know what can happen around the world, okay? We've got so many things that can impact price. So definitely have an exit system because it's important. So from here currently to about that level, it's around a 55% gain. So that's quite a lot of money, obviously, if you do have some Bitcoin bags. Now let's go to the next level, guys. So again, let me just fix up my chart a little bit. So the 2.41 level. Now this again is very close to a psychological level of 150,000. So for me, this is when I start to maybe think, okay, we're hitting some really uncharted territories. We're up quite a lot. Okay, so obviously that's reaching over a 2x since we got into the market last cycle. So that means and this is the thing too, guys, like Everyone is in profit once you start reaching all-time highs. And that's what you need to remember, okay? And normies start to come in around that time as well. So they're adding liquidity. They're like, oh yeah, Bitcoin goes up, but they're buying the top. And that is a risk to reward trade of literally zero, okay? And so many people did it last cycle, and I'm sure people will do it again, but that's what I'm here to educate you about. We want to be making moves now when the market's chilling so that we can succeed in the future. But that would be about a 2x move to about 141,000 or 143,000, as it says there. Obviously, we see the next target at 200K. And again, these are hitting some crazy numbers if you do see it. But obviously, if I take a look, guys, from about that breakout after the halving, we did obviously touch about a 5 to 6x. Last cycle, so again, an unreasonable prediction would be around a 2 to 3x. So if oh goodness, I'm gonna have to do this. There's a lot on my chart. My apologies. Here we go. So again, if I have a look here, guys, and I do a 2 to 3x on what we think could actually happen from current price action, so a 2x to 3x will put us around 200K. So for me, that's not an unreasonable target for Bitcoin at the moment. All right, guys, so let me just have a look. At the chat, do a career. All right, man. All right, sweet. I'll come back to the chat shortly. Okay, let's look at ETH. ETH is showing me a lot of strength. It broke out this huge triangle, as you can see here. But again, a lot of the charts are the same, guys. So we won't spend too much time looking at charts. There's so much to analyze in this market. But let's go down the 4 hour. Okay, auto it. Just like that. Yeah, you've seen the same sort of structure. We have bounced really aggressively on ETH, whether that was off an actual zone, it was. So this is, again, support and resistance is a very easy way to learn how to trade, guys. But essentially how this works is, as you can see here, we spent time banging up against that support, that resistance zone there. We spent time in this little channel here as support, okay? That's often a really good time to scalp trade, okay? So you can trade in and out, short and long, 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 like this, until you do eventually see that change in shift. But obviously we bounced from that level to this previous resistance and support. And obviously if you had some longs down here, that would have been a great long for Ethereum. But again, you can see the same charts with what I was showing you before with total crypto market cap, guys. So essentially, if you come like this, there's a bull flag here, okay? And if anything, this is sort of a widening gap. Yeah, a little bit of a widening gap. Depends where you want to draw it from. So you could even probably draw it from about there. But it's showing me a bullish sort of flag going down, okay? And the first thing that I like to see is that we have, again, changed structure. So again, it's showing me that we are no longer going lower than there. We've set a higher low. So that shows me that could be a really good long up to this zone for a quick cheeky scalp. And obviously you would maybe look to take some profits off the table for that little scalp. But then if you hold it and it actually breaks this and then gets back into that bullish trend, then you've mastered that reversal. And okay, and you've caught that reversal based on simple support and resistance and higher lows and higher highs. Okay, that's how I like to trade, guys. It's a really simple way to do it, not too difficult. But ETH, again, showing me a lot of strength, but not probably as much as Bitcoin. And again, we'll look at Solana versus ETH as well very shortly. But let's have a look at ETH first, BTC. This one's a chart that I've been banging on for quite a long time, and why I was more bearish on ETH this year. But again, we saw a shift. Okay, now this is what I posted this probably a couple of weeks ago, so it has changed since then. But again, see, this is on a higher time frame. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got lower highs all the way down, like I've shown you. We've got lower lows showing me a bearish trend in Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Until this point, down the bottom where that orange line is, we saw a shift. We saw a higher low. However, what I'm looking at here is that this yellow zone is a significant support zone. So if ETH, so in other words, if Bitcoin pumps and ETH can't match it, then this will break down and go towards this zone that I've been sort of thinking ETH would hit for a long period of time. So that's obviously a little liquidity here from 2018 all the way to 2021. So again, that's the bearish take. The bullish take is that we see a bounce from this level, okay, both this support level, and then we get back into that sort of change and shift. So say we bounce off this level here, we get back into that, bounce off there, and then we change back up here. And that would show me that maybe Bitcoin doesn't, in other words, Ethereum outpaces Bitcoin, okay? So that's what it would mean. So if this chart goes up, it means that ETH is better than Bitcoin. And if it goes down, it means that Bitcoin's better than ETH in terms of price action. So that's always a good one to keep an eye on. Again, very interesting at the moment because obviously the ETH narrative is really circumstantial on the ETH ETF getting approved. At the moment, I'm seeing quite more of a bearish take on it happening this year. So perhaps maybe next year it might really send us into an all-time high sort of peak. Okay, so a blow off top potentially if it gets approved early next year. But at the moment, what I'm seeing in the news, what I'm seeing on the timeline is that it's not going to happen this year. So definitely keep an eye on it. Solana versus ETH, always a good chart to see. But again, guys, why fade? Why fade the narrative? It's as simple as that. As you can see here on the chart, guys, if you were someone that was part of the ETH ecosystem last cycle, like I was, then it would have been a hard shift to move to Solana. However, you would have seen that it was completely oversold due to the FTX absolute FUD, really, at the end of the day. And then if you dove deeper, then the NFTs took off, the DeFi took off, the airdrops took off. So many different factors within the Solana ecosystem really showed me that it was undervalued in terms of price, but also where it should be in terms of market cap. And obviously that's showing me strength here. So again, you would have had an absolute bargain if you caught some Solana down here compared to Ethereum. But again, guys, it's the same sort of chart setup across the board at the moment. You can obviously see that it held this for quite a long time, for a period of time there. I was a little bit more bearish on Solana compared to Ethereum, but then obviously it's showing me strength more recently. And again, I could change this to support that this is again a bullish flag. Okay, so let's just draw the orange one as well, so then it's nice and clear at the difference. But essentially, there's that bearish flag that we've been talking about all show. Okay, you get that wind up, you then have that consolidation, and then you break out. So that shows me that again, you want to be holding more Solana than Ethereum this cycle, and that's been literally from this point here. So mid last year, it was the point at which that would have been Solana at $8. Okay, that is the point at which you want to be holding Solana over ETH. So definitely compare your top altcoins, because it definitely shows you the best way to trade this market, okay? So guys, let me know in the chat if you've got anything you want me to talk about. I'm more than happy to do so. All right, let's dive into the altcoin bags. Let me have a drink of water just to catch up again. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat if you want me to discuss anything. More than happy to. Alrighty, so Solana's in a really interesting place, guys. We've had such a crazy run up. I bought it mainly around 20, between that $17 to 20. So I'm up quite a lot already. So as you can see here, an 8 to 10x, which is crazy to think about, but we still have so much upside. If you're someone new, if you're watching this now and you still have some bags, I definitely think, as we just saw, Solana is the narrative. Okay, we've seen so much bullishness in so many different ways happen on that blockchain. But again, let's take a deeper dive on the daily compared to the weekly, because it's just showing me not much there. And again, guys, we're seeing consolidation. So right now we're seeing consolidate sort of this period here. Again, shout out to Sexy, who loves to trade with divergences and whatnot. But essentially what he likes to do is use CCI and use the RSI to track whether you have a bullish divergence or a bearish divergence. Maybe I'll do a chart analysis video again soon when I get some time. And obviously I'm traveling, so it is hard for me to do these videos. But again, let me know if you're keen and I can definitely do that. But again, I'm looking at this consolidation here for Solana. It looks like it still could have some time there, so literally till Thursday before it can break out. So I'm watching this with a lot of interest. We have entered a long based on divergence on a smaller time frame. Cannot remember it off the top of my head, but essentially we're looking at that divergence there. So as you can see, if you did check out CCI compared to here, it is showing me a slight bullish structure change there, and then that was matched with the divergence. So that's when we took that long. Okay, so we're in anywhere from about 170 to 176, I think, is my orders. So I'm currently in that. I do hope that it breaks, but obviously we have an aggressive sort of stop loss for that trade as well. But it's showing me a lot of strength, guys. Don't fade the narrative. Be content with holding your bags for a longer period of time. Solana is going to an all-time high. Okay, it's not far away at all to its all-time high. Speaking of, let's have a look. So we look at its all-time high. It's literally not far away at all. So current price action is 176, all-time high just shy of 300. So if we look here to there, and as you can see, it's about a 51% move. So that's not much for Solana, guys. So I definitely think it's one you want to be keeping an eye on. Solana versus BTC, always a good chart to also look. As you can see here, we saw a double bottom and bang, a huge move to the upside. So again, if you had liquidity at that point in time, this is what I like to do. I like to compare the tokens that I'm really interested in, and whichever one shows me strength is probably the one that I like to buy. Okay, so another one that you could have considered is obviously AVAX, and we'll look at that chart very shortly. But as you can see here, double bottom played out. It showed me a higher bottom as well. Okay, so that resistance level there, like the oranges there, showed me a higher low, and then a third higher low actually, which shows me, okay, we're changing shift, and it shows me that Solana is going to outpace Bitcoin again, which we've seen obviously more recently up to this level. And again, we're seeing consolidation, okay? Very similar to the Solana USD chart. We've got Solana versus BTC sort of chilling out at the moment, okay? So the market just needs to chill, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just take a look. I just wanted to check. No, yeah, so Solana versus BTC still has so much upside, okay? So if I just clean up my chart a little bit, got so many dots everywhere. As you can see, we still have so much upside for it to actually be an all-time high compared to Bitcoin, which is really cool because obviously last cycle we saw it run up to around that $260, and it ran up. Look at this, how aggressive this was, guys. This is in the space. Look at that. It outpaced Bitcoin in the space of just over a month by a 6.6x. Okay, that's crazy. But again, this is what some of these altcoins can do. So find these altcoins and invest in them because they are going to outpace Bitcoin at the end of the day. But as you can see here, lots of strength, guys. The narrative is still a lot of bullishness. Okay, we're testing that support there of that previous high right now. If I do take my chart and have a look at it, but again, we're still in that very bullish trend, okay? As soon as we start to make lower lows, so say we come all the way back down here and we actually make a lower low here, that's when I maybe start to maybe think that we're a bit more bearish in the cycle, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. All right, let's look at some other charts. AVAX is definitely one I want to talk about. Let me know if there's any as well. Let's have a look at the chat. Shroom chart looking bullish. Oh man, I'll look at some memes soon, guys. So definitely, yeah, chuck it in and I'll chuck the ticker in. I'll have a look at some memes. But let's have a look. Sexy with these alpha, mate. Stop being such a good alpha provider. I do appreciate you, mate. And Sui, yeah, Sui's a good looking chart. Actually, we'll look at Sui. Appreciate it, Sexy. We'll look at that very shortly. I don't know if I have that in my list. I need to add it. All right, so okay, this is showing me a lot of strength. So again, even though it's a bearish sort of candle at the moment on the weekly, we are holding some really good levels for AVAX. So you would have seen me tweeting quite a while ago that essentially this level here, the 43 level, was huge for AVAX. If we could break that, we literally had a gap all the way to, yeah, what was that? We have a gap all the way to here at $70. So it literally played out the way that I thought it would. And essentially it broke out. It showed me literally, look at that weak candle. That is an insane weak candle. What was that? Like a 60% move on one of the top 20 altcoins in the space. Okay, don't fade the narrative, guys. It's really, really simple. But as you can see, we're holding another really bullish take, really bullish level of previous support or resistance levels from last cycle. So that's showing me a lot of strength. I'd love AVAX to consolidate here. And then that's a giga long again, guys. Not often you get a beautiful chart like this where you can see on a high time frame zone that there is a potential really good giga long to an all-time high for AVAX. I just don't see it changing, okay? If you dive deep into its dev side, its gaming side, its node side as well, yeah, like AVAX is underperformed compared to Solana, and I would nearly hold it just as high as I hold my Solana bag. So definitely check it out, guys. That's what I'm looking out for AVAX. I'll do Sui really quick because that has been popping off really nicely. Now this chart's going to look, we'll do the Coinbase chart. This one is, obviously it's a newer token. As you can see here, I haven't charted it for a while, but you can see that we broke that trend. So again, very similar chart, guys. So you should be able to figure this out, but we have this big run up, okay? When you run up like that, you don't want to be buying those big green dildos, okay? What you want to be doing is waiting for a time of consolidation or bull flags like we saw here. So we have this bull flag here, okay? We've seen it multiple times this episode, all the way up, bang, 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 and we've seen that breakout, okay? So a lot of bullishness for Sui. Similar, you can look at this another way, okay? We have a potential cup and handle. So there, and then there's your handle, and then that is often a really giga sort of trade that you can take as well. But again, chart analysis video, perhaps I should do one soon just to really educate you guys in that. But yeah, again, Sui has a lot going on in its chain. I know there's some underlying tokens in that ecosystem that Sexy himself has shared in my group as well, that have also been outpacing Sui and outpacing a lot of the rest of the market. So definitely do your due diligence, guys, because there's a lot of potential out there. But here, I'll just show you one more time around how I like to trade. You're seeing that it has lower lows, so that's why it's going down. So lower low, lower low, lower low. As soon as you get that shift, that's where you want to be looking for longs, okay? Alternatively, if it's the opposite, that's when you want to be looking for shorts, okay? As soon as it breaks. So as you can see here, we saw a shift in structure literally there. So there's the low. So that would have been a really good short opportunity into that support resistance level, and bang, you would have had a mad short on Sui. But again, it works to long and it works to short the market. It just depends how you like to trade. I like to trade both shorts and longs, but essentially when the macro is so bullish like we are currently, why would you want to be trading shorts unless you know exactly where you're shorting from? That's more of a risky trade, okay? You can always long to a really high number. You can only short to zero. So there's always upside with longs. But just to show you really quickly how you could short this, because a lot of people always ask, like, you only ever long the market. So let's have a look. Okay, so as you can see here, we saw a shift, right? It broke below this level right there, and then it retested this level. So you can see that essentially it broke down, it came back up, retested it. So if it showed me strength, it would have broken back into this, what do I call this? This ascending wedge, let's call it, and it would have shown me that we're continuing high. It didn't. It broke back down. So again, you would have looked on the 4 hour probably to confirm this, but you can see here it came back down. It retested that, and that's where you would want to be shorting. So you'd be shorting from there. Essentially, you would probably have your stop loss up here, and your take profit would be probably down. I'd have to look at higher time frames. My first take profit would probably be in that level based on that high there and that support there. So as you can see, it hit that level quite a few times, but that's a really nice short of the market. We would have shorted from there. You would have got a 20%, so 10x leverage, that's 200%, guys. And obviously, if you caught the really long move, that's a 300% move on 10x leverage. So there's plenty of moves, and this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people fade leverage trading because they just don't know how to do it, and then they over leverage rather than just using simple 5 to 10x leverage on simple plays like this. So definitely check it out. Shout out to you, Sui, to you, Sexy, for giving me Sui, because that's a really nice chart. BMX and Joe will look at that literally in a minute. Guys, like the video if you are here. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow me if you're on X. I really do appreciate it. Another water break, guys. A lot of chatting going on. I'm happy to go live for quite a while. Obviously, we're doing a detailed analysis because I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. So it's good to catch up on this chart, show you what's happening in my mind, showing you maybe some potential setups. And then we'll dive deeper into the NFTs and the sort of speculative stuff of meme coins because it is cooling off, and it is always good to trade leverage. You can trade leverage all of the time. That's why I like to do it. Okay. So let me know in the chat if there are any tokens you want me to check out or any collections you want me to check out. More than happy to discuss. Alrighties. GM, Dan. Maybe later, mate. Meme coins, essentially, I like to, like I said throughout the show, guys, like I trade meme coins the same way that I trade altcoins, okay? It's just market structure, okay? It's bullish or bearish, and it's higher lows, higher highs, or lower highs, lower lows. It's just a simple way to chart these meme coins, okay? All right, let's have a look at the chart. So that's Sui. Let's go to Joe. Joe's obviously within that AVAX narrative. I'll do a bit quicker. We won't do his detailed analysis, guys, but as you can see here, lots of strength. On a higher time frame, you've got higher lows. So as you can see here, there was lower lows there for a period of time. Then we saw our first higher low. So that shows me there's a shift in structure. So higher low, higher low, higher low again, another higher low, and then this recent wick was literally bought up and we pumped. So again, a massive support resistance level for Joe, and similar to AVAX, guys. Not only the actual token is worth something because of what it's building and what it's bringing to its ecosystem, but the chart is showing me bullish structure as well. So a lot of bullishness there, but Joe still has a lot of upside to break its all-time high, way up here in the $2 range. What was the other one? Beam. Where's Beam? Beam. There it is. I need to group these a bit more better on my trading view. But if we have a look here, guys, Beam has been cooling off. This is on the weekly. Obviously, it's a newer coin, so let's go to 1 day. And again, similar chart right now, guys. So you could potentially see and again, like it's all very similar, guys. As you can see here, we go from chart to chart and they all show me the same thing, a shift in structure. So as you can see here, lowers, and then as soon as it gets down the bottom, we've seen a shift. But obviously, for Beam, it hasn't broken out like some of those other ones that we've seen. So this could be a potential good opportunity to long, okay? But as you can see here, guys, this is the support zone previously. So it is also holding that level here from the past sort of month as well. So it's showing me a lot of strength. The dip was bought up quite aggressively, as you can see here with these wicks. We have seen descending volume, which shows me a breakout is imminent. Let's call it. So as you can see here, we've seen a spike in volume. So I'd be looking for a spike in volume. Ideally, if we want to be moving up, you want a green spike. So you'd see a big green spike like this. Okay, maybe not that big, but you get what I mean. Okay, and alongside that, you see price action do this and then go up, pump like that. So Beam could be a really nice one for a long in the coming sort of week, 27th. Yeah, in the next couple of days. So again, one of my these are altcoins that I'm speaking about that I have long-term bags for that I do like to trade actively as well. All right, another gaming token, IMX. Oh, really interesting chart here, guys. So as you can see here, we saw a change in structure, but we also, so you can see here, excuse me, it respected the chart for a while. This dip was bought up very aggressively. We broke back into the trend. Okay, so we did dip down, but we did get back into the trend and support it for a while. However, as you can see here, guys, we did see that it broke its trend, obviously more recently, and has been bleeding quite aggressively. So again, this is a simple TA will show you what's happening with a particular token. So that would have been a good short opportunity if you got in on the 4-hour levels, like using that principle that I showed you earlier. You could definitely so as you can see here, there's strength on that wick, and then it retested and it didn't break into the zone. So then it obviously shows me it wants to go back down. Okay. So if we do look again, and similar, guys, so similar. Okay. Where did it head to? Literally a previous high. So it couldn't break this high before, so that shows me there's some liquidity or a good level for liquidity to be. So that's a really good opportunity to either long the market. So you could have been having some orders down here to long it, okay? Or you could have shorted it from here all the way and said my high take profit zone is probably at this 2.58 level. That's how you trade, guys. Really simple. It's not as complicated as some people make it out to be, and it's really disappointing that a lot of people do fade TA a lot of the time. But IMX, still very bullish on it. Not much really happening with that chart. Probably avoiding it just for now, but definitely one I'm holding longer term. Let's look at some other charts. Say is another one that is so bullish longer term. So again, we're showing me that there's overhead resistance. You could probably nearly move this up a little bit to about that level there. Again, let's fix it a little bit. Obviously, I was doing this really quick one stream. But yeah, it broke out. Couldn't hold this level. Okay, so as you can see here, a really good long opportunity is if it breaks out, and it bounces from that support level. That's a great long opportunity. But as you can see here, we came back into the range. No reason to short because we just come back into the range. Okay, the reason to short would be if it comes back down here, retest the bottom of the range. Okay, and then it can't break that. Then that's where you want to be shorting. That's how you short, guys. Okay, you don't want to be shorting when it's in a bullish continuation on a higher time frame. Okay, a lot of alpha there, so do go back and watch this video once it is released after this live stream today. So I do appreciate all of you guys tuning in. We've got over 400 people, so thanks for being here, guys. I do appreciate it. Like the video, helps me grow as a content creator in this space. Give me a follow if you don't follow me already. I give lots of analysis every single day in crypto, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. So I love educating this space. All right, Pith, that's a really good one, Poverty. Great, thanks for sharing it. I don't know if I have it in my list. No, I don't. Let's pull up the Pith chart. Obviously, I was a Mad Lad holder. I have recently sold that. And it was, I'm just trying to pick which chart I want to pick. Yeah. So Pith, again, a lot of strength. So as the airdrop came out, usually you see a 50% sort of retrace on an airdrop. This one went to 60. A great opportunity to buy down here. Okay, that's classic airdrop sort of meta. It pumps initially and then always retraces around that 50% level. And then it has shown a lot of strength. But again, if you don't know what Pith is, it's an oracle on Solana. So again, why fade oracles? Link has done so much good stuff for this space. So why would you fade the top oracle on Solana under the Solana narrative? So that's a really simple one. But again, guys, we're seeing a lot of similarities in the chart. You could draw a little breakout triangle. Now, a lot of people think breakout triangles are bullish. Okay, breakout where it's symmetrical like this is bullish or bearish. It just depends on which way the token price action goes. So you could short or long this. So if it shows me, okay, an increase in volume down the bottom, maybe I could have my RSI/GCI divergences down below to maybe give me a sort of inclination around which way it's going to go. Those are lagging indicators, so I don't like to trade with them that often, but they are really good to use and sexy, and other people use them all of the time. But like you can see here, guys, this could either break out, okay? Look for that retest for a long, or it could break down. Look for that retest for a short, okay? That's on Pith. Obviously, the narrative on Solana is very strong. Obviously, we're in a bullish trend on a weekly chart. My hedge is that this probably breaks up in the coming sort of week. So this is in the day chart. So yeah, in the coming days, we could see this break up. So that's say, what else have I not looked at yet? TR is a really interesting chart. Now, the narrative has sort of faded away from Celestia at the moment. I actually have unstaked my Celestia. Just because I think I could use that money for other things in a more aggressive way. So Celestia is a really interesting one for me at the moment. I need to dive deeper into its token unlock, actually. That might be a really quick one. Let's just have a really quick look, guys, just to see if that's maybe having something to do with it. So if we pull it up on CoinMarketCap, let's have a look. Token supply, it's not going to tell me yet. Market cap. Is at 2, yeah, so 9 13. So yeah, maybe there is a token unlock soon that people are a bit more bearish on. So that's again something you need to do your due diligence on, guys, because that could be something at the end of the day that could mean that TIA doesn't see the sort of retains that we like to do. Sexy shared the IMAX chart in the server. I love it, bro. I love it. Different view. All right, all right, all right. I don't want to. I don't want to give the server away, Sexy. I don't want to give the server away. That's for the alpha. That's if you want to pay for my alpha. I do run a group. If you want to join my group, guys, birthday sale's coming. It's my birthday literally in a week, so I'll run a pretty mad sale. Expect at least a 40 to 50% discount on all options because that's my thanks to you guys for supporting me. So definitely check it out. We've been on a mad test since October last year. Over 200 members now. We've been smashing this space. So we'll look at some NFTs very shortly. Yeah, you're right. We've looked at plenty of tokens. No one else has requested any. Again, this is Vulcan Forge, so the gaming meta is really strong at the moment. That's showing me at least strength. It's bouncing off that level. Last one I want to show you is obviously Dogecoin. Really interesting chart. Again, we saw it break down, bounce off. Is there any support there from previously? Let's have a look. Yeah, not really. It bounced from nowhere, so that's really interesting. But again, I'm probably not that bullish on Doge until it breaks this previous sort of resistance level up at 18 cents. If it does that, that's probably a really good chance to long it up there, guys. All right, that's enough for the charts. Let's look at some. Let's go to NFTs. NFTs, because a lot of people have been talking about NFTs recently. Let me just refresh the page. All right, let me get rid of that and leave TradingView. Let's go to some of my favorite sites to look at the different markets. Phantom wants me to log in. No thanks at this period of time. All right. So let's look at NFT volume, and then let's go look at some collection slash spaces. All right. So at the moment, guys, I think for NFTs, it's a really interesting place. So for me, you want to have exposure, okay? And like I said at the top of the show, like Beanie said in her tweet today, you want to be trading. If you're limiting yourself by not trading across different markets and by not looking at also different blockchains. So many people faded Solana for a long time. I'm talking ETH maxis faded all the way to about, I'm going to say about January, February, when they had the Fraganas come out and when they had other ones where they tried to pump it and all the apes came in and they tried to pump it to control it just like they used to on ETH. So it's really interesting because so many people faded it. A lot of people faded Ordinals and are still fading Ordinals. You've got to think about Bitcoin. It's the meta, okay? It has an ETF that is approved, okay? It has so much volume. It has so many whales. And as soon as we see maybe some interest from big wallet holders of Bitcoin coming in and maybe buying an OMB, buying a Node Monkey, buying a Puppet, whatever it is that they like to buy, that's when we know the shift will change. And that's when those sort of ridiculous sort of numbers will come up. But like I said on the Nifty Portal show at the end of the year last year, I still think that liquidity is different this cycle because everyone's trading from SAY to AVAX to Bitcoin to ETH to Solana. So the liquidity spread, it's not all central on one particular market. So that's why it's really hard to maybe say that Ordinals are really going to have that sort of 10x run up compared to the ETH NFTs last cycle because it just is so much more spread this cycle. That's let alone some of these other token blockchains like Polygon and Cardano that also still have a little bit of activity on them because there's still people trading on all of these different blockchains. But let's have a look at the volume. As you can see, it's pretty poor indicator. Obviously, it's a Saturday, so maybe let's do the weekly. But if we have a look at the weekly, we've seen obviously sales on Ethereum sort of dominate this week, but we have seen, as you can see, a big red sort of movement in the last week. That's because, as you saw before on the charts, we've consolidated, okay? And the first thing for people to get rid of is their NFTs. But ETH is showing a lot of strength here. And it has bounced, and we'll look at Blur very shortly. But if you do look here, guys, I still think that Bitcoin and Solana are great opportunities for the NFT space. Outside that, I just don't see others sort of matching them for a duration that you want to be holding some of these NFTs. Coming over here, Punks, as you can see, are showing so much strength, which is just great to see. But that sales volume is dominated by that $16 million sale a couple of days ago. But again, Punks have held their USD slash ETH levels very, very nicely. Very similar to Mad Lads. However, Mad Lads have come down more recently, and I did chart this out more recently. So let's dive deep. I'll start being a Solana Mac. I'll start with Solana, and then we'll go to Ordinals, then we'll go to ETH after. Okay, so I did give a chart analysis in my group and obviously on the timeline recently around Mad Lads. And if you do look here, guys, TA and people still, again, TA maybe doesn't affect NFTs as much as it does price action for altcoins, okay? I admit that. However, again, it still shows me whether there's bullish or bearishness on particular NFT collections. So for me, there was this huge breakout. I don't know what's happening with my chart, but essentially, let's see if it wants to load. There was this huge breakout opportunity for Solana, for Mad Lads on Solana. Now, I sold mine recently a couple weeks ago because I just wanted to de-risk. I was so probably over dedicated in my portfolio. I had probably over 30% of my whole portfolio in NFTs, and that, you don't want to be doing that, particularly this cycle when there's, like I said before, so much spread liquidity. I think that's just a mistake to be making. So for me, I de-risked my Mad Lad, I sold my Puppet, I sold so many different NFTs, all for profit, which is great, because I think that it allowed me to then maximize the meme coin meta that was the past 3 weeks, okay? That's how I like to trade. I'm an active trader. I trade different markets. I trade different blockchains. But as you can see here, guys, we've got a breakout triangle, and it has shown me, let's just pull up the listings as well and drag that up a little bit to match it. So I was hoping for this to break out because then I would have been aping into a Mad Lad again. Now, it's showing me weakness, so it has come down. Now, the reason I sort of thought that we might break down rather than break up is obviously because there was a slight uptick in listings. Now, listings for NFTs, so if we go to the daily, I might need to zoom out a little bit and show this a little bit better. Okay, this is why I thought it would break down compared to break up for Mad Lad. So for me, I saw this, as you can see, an uptick in listings. So that shows me, okay, maybe people, whether they're farmers, whether they're people de-risking like me, okay, we're starting to lock in profits on Mad Lads. Now, obviously, I sold for probably, yeah, it moved up another 10 grand USD, but at the end of the day, I was happy with that decision. Now this is where I start to become interested in Mad Lads again. Once I can maybe find some support lower than maybe this, I still think I'm watching this sort of zone here for that maybe lower low or that double bottom, okay? That's when I maybe become really interested in a Mad Lad, okay? But again, I'm keeping an eye on the USD price and the Solana price, but that's what I'm looking at. I recently bought some Bodoggos, as a lot of the timeline would have seen. Let's have a look. Oh, and shout, hold on. I can't run this stream without talking about Howdy Hats. Now, the Bodoggo community, they got this. Look at this. This is 10 souls. So that's essentially what? Like, I can't even do the math off the top of my head. 10 times 170. What's that? 11 grand? 10 grand? Is that right? No, 1 grand. I don't know. You tell me in the chat what the math is on that. But essentially, 10 Solana has run up. Look at this. This is the daily, guys. So crazy to see. Essentially, Bodoggo's got into that. Shout out to Sexy who brought that to my group. Literally all the way down here, guys. So if you got in nice and early in that first dip, you're up probably about a 3 to 4x. Obviously, if you caught this breakout here, so this support and resistance zone, you're up probably around a 2 to 3x sort of range. Yeah, 2 to 3x. Yeah, 2x there. So again, this looks actually, look at this chart, guys. Like this looks potentially bullish here. So if we can break this level, maybe it's a cup and handle actually, and then it breaks up here. But essentially, we look it up here. If it can break that level, then we're going higher for the hats. I haven't done my due diligence, so shout out to Sexy and the other Bodoggos in my community that brought that as well. Yeah, so Sexy called them at 2 sol. So there you go, Shane. Thanks for that, bro. Yeah, mad. That's a 5x, guys. That's a 5x on Solana NFT. So as you can see, there's so many opportunities across chains, across different ways. So Howdy Hats have obviously taken a lot of liquidity more recently. Again, there's not much I'm looking at here across the board. We have the parcel potential airdrop coming up soon as well, so dive into that. We traded that from about 3 sol all the way up to about 12, 15 sol, I think, from memory. It ran to about 20, so it was actually about a 5 to 7x, but we took our little 3 to 5x and we were very happy. I just want to talk about, outside this, like Clanos have bounced, but for me, Clanos is just such a long-term play. Like, I just don't see, like, people want to hold, like, they want to hold a Clano. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea. I think Pudgies have that sort of meta around toys and around that cute PFP sort of thing. So for me, I just like, I'm not fading or fudding the Clanosaurus ecosystem. I love them as ecosystem. I love them as a team that has a business that has animation. Okay. I think that's going to skyrocket. Okay. I just think there's better plays. And then in time, maybe that's when you want to come back if you have some spare cash to buy a Clano. Okay. So I think in the short term, for me, I just don't see something like for me, this chart doesn't show me a lot of bullishness. And also sentiment wise, I think there's better plays in the short term that could allow you to make more money to then maybe buy a Clano when the Clanos maybe start talking a little bit more about what's happening in their space. But I do know that they've got some functions and some events coming up that I do hope they run up quite aggressively. But again, as you can come down here, guys, there's not much else in Solana at the moment. The mint and flip meta is really quiet at the moment as well. So I think that's really interesting. But the Bodoggos, they obviously aren't very high in volume, or if I scroll past them. I know, let's just search them. So I like Sniper, guys. Obviously, you can use Magic Eden as well. But I like Sniper. You can farm all of these rewards. So I'm farming the diamonds on Magic Eden. I'm finding points on Sniper, and you can obviously have the Tensor airdrop as well. I called these the other day on the timeline and in my group at about 5.4 sol. Obviously, we have seen them rally up a sol since that point of time. I just refresh it to make the chart appear a bit nicer. just 4 hours. So again, in my analysis, guys, the reason for it was that I saw listings coming down. So unlike Mad Lads, I saw listings coming down. I had obviously locked in some profit from meme coins, so I wanted to allocate some money into some NFTs. Now, Solana is one that you want to have exposure to. So as you can see here, they have bounced from this level several times. Okay. So for me, I was like, okay, that's a really good level. That's a really good risk to reward entry for Bodoggos, whether I'm holding it in the short term or whether I'm holding it for the longer term. And I'm doing the latter. Okay, I'm holding it for at least an all-time high or at least a 2x back to 10 sol. Okay, so I'm holding that. I'm part of the community. I think that I put a tweet out today, guys, that they are some of the best alpha traders in the whole space every single day. Some of those people in that group, shout out to you. You've done so well, and I am so appreciative to be part of the Bodoggo community. But as you can see here, why I bought that is because the listings were coming down as well. And because I know what that team is doing. They're on Spaces, they're on YouTube every single day of the week, and they're giving constant alpha. They're delivering support to their holders. They've got merch. Again, they went viral. Again, I gave it in my thesis on that chart that I put out. On that post that I put out recently on why I bought some Bodoggos. Again, I would be looking to maybe DCA in if we come back down and retest the sort of zone, because I think that's a no-brainer moving out. Moving into the long term. All right, for me, let's go to Ordinals, guys. Okay. Obviously, if you're new here, guys, please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter if you don't already. I do give regular analysis. I do drop daily videos when I can, and obviously, I'll dropping some more hopefully in the coming days around Photon. Okay. A lot of people love to trade meme coins. I'll bring you a extensive trading tutorial on Photon. It's my new favorite website to use to trade Solana, Base, or ETH. Or Blast, if you want to trade Blast meme coins. Okay, Photon's super good. Obviously, you can check out that in my YouTube link down below to sign up if you haven't already. And they have that potential airdrop that's coming soon. So definitely one that I like to dabble in. And obviously, guys, please subscribe if you are here and support me as a content creator. All right, little drinks break. Let me check the chat. All right. All right, so yeah, Sexy coming out back with me for the hats. They had 500 spot, 10 sold each. That's so much money for the Bodoggo community. That's so sick. I love to see it. All right, really good question, Claudia. We'll talk about this very shortly, okay? It's on my screen, and we'll talk about that right now. The Puppets ecosystem, the BTC. And let's have a look. 59. What right now? Hats just got swept. That's crazy. Thanks for being here, legend. Yeah, bro. I sent you a DM just before, mate. Thanks for being here. All right. Let's have a look. And which settings are best for your Bonkbot? Go to just refer to my YouTube video on Bonkbot. That's the best place for that. Okay, I've got an extended version if you want to check that out. If you're still using Bonkbot, which I still like. Okay, I'm still using Bonkbot, but I like Photon at the moment for my meme coin trades. All right, so Ordinals. Really recently, I sold my probably Puppet about a month ago, I'm going to say. The reasons for it was because I was very happy with where it was. We were very euphoric, and Craig and I spoke about this on stream, that it's always so hard to take profit during euphoria, but it is often the best decision, okay? No one likes taking profit during euphoria, but by far it is when you should be taking some money off the table. So for me, I de-risked, like I said, Puppets and Mad Lads. I was happy with my returns, and I knew that soon we would see a pullback. And obviously Puppets pulled back all the way to about 0.14, okay? So if we zoom out. So I sold mine about where was it? Yep, I sold mine about here at 0.225, I think it was. Yep, about there. Obviously, I had full intention of buying back, literally around that 0.15 BTC level. However, life got in the way. I was up in Norway. I was chasing some northern lights, and I did manage to see them, so that was super epic. However, it meant that I did miss this dip all the way down here, this double bottom, as you can see on the chart. This one's always a bit nicer to use. If it wants to load. No, it's been spazzy. Yeah, it's been real. Oh, no, there we go. This is it doesn't want to show me. Yeah, that chart's not showing me. But anyways, I missed this dip down here because I was busy. I didn't have cell service. I was busy traveling and that sort of thing. But Puppets is definitely one that I've still got my eye on. Again, I'd loved a pullback. I would love one more pullback, and I'm straight back into this community. Again, there's so many bullish statistics here. Okay, you've got 64% ownership. You've got under 1,000, so that's 8% listed, which is pretty crazy. Obviously they get airdrops. They've had so many airdrops that have cooked. You could have nearly made probably about 0.1 Bitcoin in the past sort of couple of weeks for the airdrops that they've dropped. So for me, it's that. It's also the meme meta. Like if you're a meme trader, why wouldn't you want the meme meta? It's the same sort of as Miladies on ETH, but puppets on Bitcoin. So for me, I'm looking at this level. I want it to come down just a little bit more before I buy in. But obviously, I'm looking at these statistics here. So if listings go up, that's good for me because I think price will go down. If they go down, then obviously we're looking at another pump for Ordinals. The other one I did think about buying, but it's just so much money and so many people are priced out of it. I'm on the 10-minute. Let's go back. Let's go back to the day chart. I'm on the day chart. No bunkies. If no bunkies come back to half a Bitcoin, if you have the money to essentially get into a no bunkie at half a Bitcoin, there is no doubt that outpaces Bitcoin in at least the short term, if not the medium term. So for me, that's one that I like. Game of Blocks was an airdrop earlier today. I'm not 100% sure who qualified for that. I think Runestones did. I think I bought mine just too late. For me, Runestones at 0.03 is not a bad buy. RSIC at 0.07 is not a bad buy. But again, I'd be looking at the listings. I picked up some Runestones recently. I might look to maybe pick some more up. If they go under sub 0.03 and RSICs come back to 0.05, I think that's a great meta for the runes. Now, runes are essentially going to be your fungible / meme coins on Bitcoin. Look at the space, okay? We are all degenerates. We just sent millions and millions of dollars to these pre-sale wallets, okay? They killed the meme coin space for the past couple of days, okay? So what I'm liking to see is that meme coins coming to Bitcoin is a no-brainer for you to start looking into Bitcoin in terms of not only the NFT and the ordinal space, but also the meme coin / the fungible space. Now, BRC20s do exist, but they're so hard to trade at the moment, and it's quite knowledgeable for you to trade in and out of those. So definitely, I do think runes are going to cook, and I don't want to be fading that meta. I think it's a great one for me. So for me right now, guys, for puppets, I'd love puppets under 0.225. That allows me to get back in around the same sort of Bitcoin levels that I would have previously. Obviously, the USD levels have probably gone up because Bitcoin has pumped a little bit as well, but that's the level that I'm looking under about that 0.23. Nodes, I think nodes at 0.55 is an absolute steal. Like I said, OMBs around that sort of mid 0.35 sort of level is probably, again, a great sort of play longer term. For me, in order, I'll probably go puppets just because it's lower entry. So therefore, for it to pump is probably easier. So puppets to 0.5 is probably quicker than maybe a node monkeys to 1.3 for me. However, if I did have endless money, I'd be picking up 1, 2, and 3 for sure. Bitcoin Frogs is a really interesting one because they are essentially one of the earliest collections, if not the first PFP collection on Bitcoin. So again, one I'm keeping an eye on. If these dip closer to 0.05, that's a steal for a swing trade as well. Natcats, again, I don't think again, it could be a nice swing trade for me. There's just stronger narratives on the ordinal side of things. If we go, obviously the Quantum Cats is the last one. Again, under maybe 0.25 to 0.2 is probably a good region for a Quantum Cat. Again, if they give insight into maybe what's happening with the Taproot Wizards and when that mint's going to happen or that inscription and when that's going to drop, perhaps that might be a better trade for me as well. Let me just check the chat. All right, Coach, thanks for tuning in, mate. Appreciate you as always, bro. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so no chats about ordinals. That's for me. Runes is a no-brainer for me, guys. The Rune Pups is one that I'm very interested in as well. If the Pups token does come out, which it is confirmed to be coming, they tried to bridge to Solana. That was really fudded, and so many people didn't like that. Obviously, it was probably bad timing as well, since the Solana meme coins had just gone through this pre-sale meta, plus that meta I'm not going to talk about over the past few days. So it was really bad timing, I think, for that to happen. So for me, I think this is not a bad play if you dive into the tokenomics. So they get about 23% of supply. So for me, I think that's a good play. And if you have the money, obviously, to spend on that, I think you might as well hold it for a swing trade. If not, maybe get the pups airdrop once runes do go live. So that's what I'm really looking at the moment. I obviously think the last thing I want to talk about is the reward system for Bitcoin. We've seen Ethereum be rewarded. We've seen Solana be rewarded for diamonds on Magic Eden. Bitcoin's coming, guys. So again, this is really good to buy, sell, list, bid on Magic Eden because I do think they have obviously their diamonds, and diamonds are trading for I think 0.1 at the moment. So that's 10 cents. So I'm not 100% sure, but definitely let me know if you are here. Edos, thanks for being here, bro. GMGM, hi to you. But yeah, guys, Magic Eden rewards for Bitcoin, definitely one that I'm looking at. Okay. All right. The last one I want to talk about is Blur. And then we'll go to meme coins really quickly. Where am I going here? I need to type in Blur. All right, so ETH NFTs obviously bounce. Okay, so if we have a look here, and they did bounce over the past week. So as you can see here, there's a lot of green. So the Pudgy ecosystem bounced back up. They dipped to like 9 from memory. Yeah, as you can see here, like people got in for wow at 9, dude. That's a steal for a pudgy, and you literally could have made 5 ETH in the space of what's that, like a week? Yeah, that's crazy. So for me, again, it's the pudgy ecosystem. I've been saying this for such a long time. Why would you fade that? They obviously have a token. The narrative hasn't changed. Price action just changed. So for me, pudgy ecosystem is the one. If you have the money to spend on that, 9 ETH is quite a lot of money at the moment. What's that? What's ETH, like 3.3 or something? So that's a lot of money. That's like 30 grand or a little bit more. So maybe weighing up whether you want to buy a Mad Lad or whether you want to be buying a Pudgy depends on maybe what your thesis is, whether you're more bullish on Sol, whether you're more bullish on ETH, whether you want to be Mad Lads have that so much, right? The community, the backpack, the airdrops, obviously little Pudgies and Pudgies also have that exposure as well. So again, do your due diligence, check them out to see what's happening. Miladies are holding strong, obviously, as that meme sort of meta on Ethereum. People really flock to them as that sort of PFP. Again, I'm avoiding the ape ecosystem. I've said that for months, and I will keep saying that. I just don't see what's happening in that space for you to warrant a buy there. Captain is the one that's really interesting for me at the moment. Obviously, Memecoin is flourishing. Like, it's done a really good job from when it dropped, okay, compared to other airdrops. So for me, definitely keeping an eye on that for another unlock. Obviously, it's all circumstantial, so you probably won't know when it's going to happen. So if you do, again, have money, then obviously the captains is probably a nice swing trade to make 5 plus, if not a 2x to 3x from here for me. Obviously, people are farming block. I'm not about that. I'm not someone who's just going to shill absolute shit on my timeline. I'm just not that type of guy. I'm an educator, so for me, I'll fade that. But outside that, guys, the last one is obviously the Azuki elementals and Azuki. For me, it's that potential airdrop that we could see in that ecosystem as well. So I am farming a little bit of Blur still. I've got Blur bids currently across the board on a few NFT collections that I'm happy to cop if they do obviously hit. And I still think people are fading. I need to connect, but I still think people are fading the airdrop on Blur/Blast. Blast has obviously gone really downhill, but there will be incentives for people to stay on Blast once Pac-Man drops it in 2 months now, really. So for me, I'm still holding my Blur. I'm staking it. And I am still obviously Blur bidding and listing on Blur because I think, again, it's rewarded me 2 times before. I don't see why it doesn't reward me again a 3rd time. All right, that's NFTs, guys. We'll do a deep dive into I should show you Photon actually before. I'll quickly go into Photon. Let's have a geese. Is it going to allow me to get in, or do I need to connect my wallet? All right, guys. Obviously, if you're new here, guys, please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and like and follow me if you're on Twitter. I do appreciate it. If you are keen to check out more of Greenie, check out more of my community that I've created. Over 200 members. We've returned over 1,000x since October, trading meme coins, altcoins, airdrops, leverage, and all in between NFTs as well across several different blockchains. So we've done really well. We educate each other. We support each other every single day in this space. So if you're really keen to check that out, I do have a link below in my subscription on YouTube. Sorry, I do have it on my YouTube in the link below, but on my profile in my bio if you are on Twitter. So thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. All right, let's have a look. So let's have a look at memes. As you can see here, I've ranked it by all chains in terms of volume. So we're having a look here. Solana still has the top couple tokens in terms of liquidity, in terms of volume. So Ken with hat, LOL's up there. I don't even know what these are. I'm just looking right now. We're seeing a few BNB come up, which is really interesting. I was trading a lot of BNB last cycle, but again, why would you fade Solana and sort of newer tokens this time? Base is one we'll talk about very shortly. We're seeing AVAX tokens really pop off. So for me, there are some tokens that I really am keen to hold longer term. So for me, the main ones, I'll type them in. So let's go to look at these charts. So for me, MOG, I've been DCAing into MOG during this dip. So as you've seen, guys, this is the same chart on a meme coin as we just did with an altcoin. We saw a mad, I need to change the color. We saw a mad pump, okay? And now we're seeing that consolidation. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Delete. All right, now we're seeing a consolidation, okay? In that bull flag. Let me pull this up so it's a bit easier to do. All right, let me just clean this up, guys. It's not the cleanest chart at the moment, is it? So we saw this mad breakout, which if you caught, an insane return. But as you can see here, we've got this mad flag, okay? And now we're seeing that sort of bullish flag here. So however this goes, I'm going to DCA, okay? For me, MOG is the one I want on ETH, okay? You could hold Pepe, you could hold Doge. I think they're not bad bets as well. And MOG, but for me, those are the top 3. But for me, MOG has a higher upside compared to the others. It has that normacy effect as well. If you talk to people about TikTok and everyday living on Instagram, MOG is one that they see. So that's one that I'm keeping my eye on at the moment on ETH. For the other ones, obviously, we've got the main ones. Oh, yeah, let's go to Bonk. So Bonk for me is obviously the premier one, as well as Whiff. We're seeing such a big pullback. Again, if you have the cash to have exposure to memes, why wouldn't you maybe buy at this level? You don't want to be buying up here, guys. Okay, I see so many people being like, yeah, let's get into Bonk up here. Okay, that's silly. Buy down here. Okay, buy during consolidation. That's how I trade. That's how I've been successful for such a long time. Okay, if anything, actually, holy moly, we might have a live trade right now. Sexy, I think Sexy might have called this in my group already. But, oh no, he called Whiff. We'll look at the Whiff chart very shortly. But here's a live bottom, guys. There's a double bottom on a little mini time frame that we could see maybe play out to this top of the range here. And then we might see if it can break out in the coming days as well for Bonk. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Bonk. A change in structure. So again, like I spoke about, same language, different coin. Okay, you've got that double bottom. This is obviously a change in structure. We're going up compared to coming down. Okay, so that's showing me that there's a bit of strength with Bonk. Let's look at Whiff. All right, and pull it up as my other sort of whole board. Yeah, look at him. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bought Bonk and Whiff today. Love you, man. Love you, man. So happy that you're in my group. All right, so if we look at this is Whiff again. Let's have a look. So yeah, really nice. Again, you don't want to be buying when it's pumping like this, okay? So you don't want to be buying when it's just going on an absolute tear, okay? That's dangerous. Your risk to reward is just not there, guys. You want to be buying when it's something like this, once it's consolidated for a period of time, okay? It's showing me strength by holding this level here. And again, this is not a bad time. So I picked up some Whiff on a leverage exchange actually today too. So I hope it pumps. But yeah, consolidation. Again, we could draw some fibs from this breakout just to see which levels it hit. It bounced off its 0.5 level. So that shows me strength there, that it wicked down here several times and then bounced and then bounced and then bounced. So definitely keep an eye on the fib levels as well. That's just from the breakout to the breakout top. So the breakout zone down here to the breakout top. So that's how I like to use fibs. Outside that, those are my top two on Solana. Let's look at when, because a lot of people talk about when as well. On Solana. So let's have a look. Let's pull it out. It's been a while since I've looked at this. As you can see here, guys, I charted it when it first came out. So again, this was an airdrop and a classic. How far to go down? Tell me it was, yeah, so it was quite aggressive. It went down 77%, and it took a long time. It took, what's this? It took, yeah, oh, no. Yeah, 60 bars. So it took, in meme coins, that's a long time. It took a month before it then pumped, okay? So for me, I like Whiff and I like Bonk a lot more in the charts right now on Sol. Outside that, probably not touching any Solana meme coins at the moment. When is maybe the other one that we could see, because obviously it what did it go? It went down so much. Yeah, 60%. So again, don't fade the narrative. Solana meme coins are strong. And when might have been a buy. It's probably not a buy where I like it right now, but maybe if it does get back down sort of in this region down here, I might look to take some more when on the table as well. Let's dive into base, because obviously base has been really strong. I'm going to release a base video very soon as well for how I trade base meme coins. Photon, again, is my favorite. But if we come here, guys, this is what base looks like. Base of meme is currently the highest liquidity token. Look at this chart. Silly. People are making money. I am taking a break from memes, but as you can see, people are making money. Again, I haven't done my research. Quick 6 issues. What do we got? Tax modifiable, that's not good. Owner announced, no. Hidden owner, yes. Okay, so I chuck it into a few of my bots to show me the health of this token as well. But again, you can't, like, even if the token contract is a little bit dodgy, it doesn't mean it can't pump. It just means get out, take profits is essentially how I like to trade. So BAME is one base of meme. It's going up crazy. It's up 5.6 million, which is pretty good to see. The other one I want to talk about is Brett. But I'll be releasing a base video very soon, guys. So do keep an eye out on the channel because that one will be an absolute banger. Let's have a look here. So yeah, Brett's kind of cooling off after a mad pump. Yeah, $300 and something million. That's crazy. But again, we've got a little cheeky breakout triangle in the coming, what's this, on the day chart. So in the coming days, I'll be keeping an eye on Brett to see which direction it breaks up. Okay, if it breaks up like that, or if it decides to break down, retest, go back down, then I'd be maybe looking to have exposure here. Because like I said, guys, similar to NFTs, you want to have exposure to these memes on several different blockchains. The last couple I want to talk about are on AVAX. Let's have a look. Cocky News, the one. I did share this in my group. Again, we've got a bull flag here, guys. Why wouldn't you be buying a bull flag? Okay, again, it's the strongest token on AVAX in terms of memes. Bang, bang, bang. You've seen this chart all episode. So why wouldn't you want it? We've seen a change in shift. Whether it shows me a follow through or not, that's be super bullish. If it doesn't, cool. We'll just start DCAing in as it gets lower. So I want exposure to some of these top meme coins on each of the different blockchains, because at the end of the day, liquidity spread, interest is spread, hype is spread. So you want to have exposure to things because some is probably going to outperform in a short term, some's going to outperform in a long term. So that's again how I like to trade and have so many of my fingers dipped into so many good pies. Okay. Now, so many people always say, Greeny, you've got too many altcoins, you've got too many meme coins across your bag. Well, at the end of the day, mate, it's all about your exposure of your portfolio. I've got less than 1% in some of these sort of different altcoins. However, if they pump 20x, that'll pump that particular one less than 1% to maybe even 2 to 3% of my whole portfolio. So it's all about portfolio management. I've spoken about that on my YouTube channel before, and making sure that you de-risk and put risk on in the right way. So majority of my bag is always in my holding Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, etc. And then a lot of it, around 20% is used for NFTs, leverage, and for meme coin trading. And hopefully within that 20%, I can maximize my spot bag holdings. And that's essentially what I like to do every single day. All right, guys. Outside that, there's probably not much else I want to chat about today. So I do appreciate you all tuning in. We've got over 500 in the house. So thanks for being here, guys. It's an absolute privilege to bring this show to you today. If you are new here, please obviously follow me on Twitter. If you are new here watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are on Twitter, I do YouTube videos. I'm up over 4.1k subscribers. We're growing at a very fast rate. I give you lots of content, mainly around meme coins because that's what I specialize in, but also macro takes on the market, NFTs as well, Ordinals as well more recently. I have a tutorial on Photon, an extended version coming very soon. It's a hyped sort of website for a potential airdrop, but it's the easiest way to be trading some of these base and Solana meme coins. So check it out. It's coming out very soon. Obviously, like the video. Let me know in the comments below topics that you want me to discuss in future live streams because I'm more than happy to discuss it. But thanks for tuning in. I am traveling, so I'll hopefully get another one in with Craig next week. And I do appreciate you all tuning in and being here today. So thanks for being here, guys. As always, take care.